It's our USC segment that we bring you each and every Wednesday night right here on Mark Rogers TV, and we couldn't do it without Nick Dempsey from Conquest Chronicles. We always enjoy the football discussion with Nick, and they're even better after we get off and press the record button off, but that's for another day. For right now, we're talking USC tight ends as we break it down position by position heading towards spring practice. Nick, tight ends, the statistics from 2016 will not wow anyone, but there's certainly enough talent for this to be a more integral part of the passing game, I would think, this fall.
So let's jump back to September 2016 when USC was just an absolute mess, just sort of all over the place. A huge part of the problem they had was in sort of their offensive scheme, and there was sort of no consistency or identity, and they didn't use the tight ends much, and then so no one really prepared for it. Then sort of like in the Stanford game and other early games, they would start to throw to the tight ends. It would work well, and then they would just sort of stop doing that for whatever reason. Then once they made the switch of quarterback to Darnold, you started seeing more passes to the tight ends, but it was sort of a younger group, and they also had Juju Smith-Schuster, who's going to be the top, he's going to be the top target, obviously. But they have Daniel Imatorbhebhe, who had the fourth most receptions on the team last year in 2016, but that was only 17 catches. The sixth most was Tyler Petite, and that was only 10 catches. So not a lot of receptions coming back, but again, their top two targets, Juju Smith-Schuster and Darius Rogers, who had 70 and 56 receptions, they're moving on. That leaves Burnett and Imatorbhebhe as the top two catchers. Steven Mitchell's in there, but he was injured. So you've got a lot of guys, a lot of opportunities, and a lot of really talented young guys. Imatorbhebhe is a redshirt sophomore. Behind him, Tyler Petite, he's going to be a junior next year. They just picked up Josh Falo, the 4-star recruit who came in with the signing class 2017. That is on top of last year. They had another elite recruit, Kerry Angeline, who came in last season. Very highly touted. He actually ended up redshirting last year. So, and in 2017, they also picked up Eric Kromenhoek, a 3-star recruit. So this unit is very deep. Deeper than I think a lot of people expected. There were times when USC literally had 1 or 0 tight ends on the roster, either due to injuries or transfers or arrests and expulsions. So now all of a sudden, to have this many super talented guys, they recruited very well at the position. So now they're pretty deep, and so now it's going to be a question of, can they work them in? Because if you recall in a previous video segment, we ran down all of the elite wide receivers that this team has that are incredible, but not as proven because, again, Smith-Schuster and Rogers were sucking up a lot of the receptions, a lot of the targets, and those guys are out. So you've got a ton of young, sort of unproven or not consistently proven tight ends and wide receivers. So it's going to be difficult working all of these guys in. I'd imagine Falo or Kromenhoek maybe are gonna redshirt, but there is a ton of talent here. And when you add it on top of the receivers and all of the running backs, there is nothing but weapons at the skills position on this offense. And so I'm excited to see how T. Martin can start working in the tight ends more into the game plan. And as a corollary, how Sam Darnold can work him in, because sometimes he'll start to ad lib, and frequently they'll do better than that when he ad libs in the actual play that was called. So those two gentlemen, Darnold and Martin, are going to have to figure out a way how to use all this elite talent. One would presume they have a plan and told this plan to these recruits as a way of getting them in. Not just, hey, you're a great 4-star player. We have no idea what to do with you, but come on over to USC. Probably not how it went down, I'm guessing. But they're loaded, and I want to see these guys get worked into the passing game. And I think this could be the year we actually start to see an established plan for the tight ends and really getting them worked into the offense.
Nick, you mentioned Imatorbhebhe and his 17 receptions. He really made those count, though. 250 yards. So that's about 14 to 15 yards per catch. Pretty healthy figure for a tight end. He also caught 4 touchdowns, some pretty important scores here. Touchdown in a very close game against Colorado, against the team that won the division championships, a USC win that gave Colorado its only conference loss during the regular season, at least. Washington, of course, that the big win in Seattle. Imatorbhebhe had a touchdown in that game in Seattle. And again, out of 17 catches, 4 for touchdowns. Tyler Petite with 2 touchdowns out of the tight end position as well. Josh Falo, you highlighted him out of Sacramento, number 4 rated tight end in the nation, according to 247 Sports. And Eric Croman-Hoke, number 22 the previous season in the tight end rankings across the nation. All right, it's the tight end position at USC. Not a whole lot of production in 2016, but we expect more this fall. Nick Dempsey from Conquest Chronicles breaking down position by position right here on Mark Rogers TV. Nick, it's always a good time. Thanks a lot.
Anytime, Mark.